Alright, here we are out front of AAA headquarters here in Lake Mary, Florida, where PETA protesters are out here protesting AAA because they sell SeaWorld tickets. AAA sells tickets to all the theme parks. SeaWorld's one of them. And PETA is at war with SeaWorld. Full-on propaganda mode. And every once in a while, these idiots come out here and protest AAA. This is Carla Wilson. She operates Animal Rights Florida with her husband Brian, and they're operating a scam. They're full-time protesters. She gets paid. This old couple here thinks they're doing animals a favor by coming out here and all this stuff, but they're not. They've just been duped by the propaganda. My buddy Russ came out today to help me counter-protest the liars. What's up, Russ?
What's up?
Support working animals. And he's sporting his Greyhound shirt. So you got two things going on here. I'm gonna try to bring it into focus a little bit for you. You got PETA, Humane Society of the United States. What they do is they have this crazy twisted mentality about animals and the animal-human relationship. These animal rights groups believe, okay, that humans and animals should never ever be in contact with each other. Never ever eat an animal, because that would be murder. If you own a cat or a dog, that's slavery. If a blind person has a seeing eye dog, that's animal cruelty and animal slavery, according to these people. If a police officer is using a police dog to sniff out a bomb or to sniff out drugs, and it saves countless lives, they don't care. That is animal cruelty and animal slavery, according to these animal rights people. These animal rights groups believe that no animal should be touched ever. They should be allowed to roam free. No human contact whatsoever. That means never ever rescue an animal. Never ever help an animal. Okay? And never rehabilitate an animal to let it back into the wild. They are completely hands-off. Now these big animal rights groups, this is what they believe. You know, so the reason that PETA and the Humane Society of the United States, the reason they don't like SeaWorld or zoos or things like that, it's because the animals are being confined, okay? They don't like that. They also don't like the fact that you know, SeaWorld rescues animals. That's against the rules. Helping animals, not good. They don't like that. Now, what's the difference between animal rights and animal welfare? Well, it's just the opposite. SeaWorld is animal welfare. It's caring for animals, rescuing them, rehabilitating them, letting them back into the wild. SeaWorld does this all the time, and PETA doesn't like that. So animal welfare and animal rights are two different things. Never get them confused. These small animal rights organizations like this one here that Carla operates with her husband Brian, that's a little bit different. These guys don't abide by those rules because they don't really believe in it. Carla owns a bunch of cats. So if she was a true animal rights person, she wouldn't own cats because that's slavery. What she's doing is she's operating a scam, okay? She is a full-time activist protester, just like her husband Brian. These people get paid by PETA to come protest AAA. They try to bully their way in and bully AAA into not selling SeaWorld tickets. Don't do it, AAA. So Carla gets paid by PETA to come out here with her husband Brian. They get paid to come here and protest, They get paid to go out to SeaWorld once a month and put on a protest.
Yes.
The protest is sponsored by PETA. All right, they also get paid by the Humane Society of the United States to put on protests and other organizations. They make a good living doing this. They don't have real jobs. They make money by lying about people. This is why I get off my ass and come out here and counter protest them. What they're doing is evil, man. They are lying about people and they're profiting from it. You've not said a word to me because you can't defend what you're doing. You can't string together the words to make it make sense to people. You're operating a scam. Have you ever helped an animal yourself, Brian? Because if you have helped an animal, you're breaking the first rule of animal rights. Now you own some cats, don't you, Brian? Don't you own cats? According to the animal rights philosophy, that's slavery. Because you don't really believe in animal rights. You're making money off of this. How much are you getting paid to come out here and protest AAA? How much does PETA pay you to go protest SeaWorld? I don't think the public supports what you're doing, dude. Why don't you find a real job? 9 to 5er. Coming out here and lying about people, that's a scoundrelly way to make money, bro. Pathetic. You, do some research, man. You're not helping anybody. How much you getting paid to come out here today, Carla? Do you own any dogs or cats? Because if you do, you're breaking the first rule of animal rights. Don't touch animals. Don't own animals, because that's slavery. Do you understand that?
But yet you're supporting SeaWorld.
I support SeaWorld. I support animal welfare.
But they own...
Helping animals.
Do you realize that all of them are on antibiotics because they chew on the fences and break their teeth?
Okay, how do you know that?
Did you see Blackfish?
Blackfish. Blackfish is a movie made by a disgruntled employee of SeaWorld who was fired. Propaganda. Come on, man, you can do better than that. They all film me, but they don't use it for nothing. You won't find me in any of their pictures or their videos because they don't want anybody to know someone's out here counter-protesting them. And this is the only guy that'll talk to me.
You're being verbally abusive.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
I am not being verbally abusive.
Can I stand on your face?
What?
Can I stand on your face right now?
You can try it. I don't know how far you're gonna get.
Well, how come they can? Because they're trained and they get food. I'll feed you if you let me stand.
Do you think those dolphins would not do that willingly? You think you can force a dolphin to do that? You're insane. Just like you can force a greyhound to run. That's the most ridiculous argument ever.
Greyhounds were...
I know more about greyhounds than all you people put together.
Do you know they're sight hounds?
I'm curious how much money you make annually being a full-time protester. Hey, last year you guys had an actual tow truck driving around with an anti-SeaWorld sign on the back, and you were pulling these blow-up shamus with X's on their eyes. How come I don't see any tow trucks out here today? They use the tow truck as a prop because it's AAA. I'll tell you what happened. I got video footage of that truck, that tow truck last year, and I got the DOT number off of it and a screenshot, sent it to AAA, and that tow truck company will never ever do business with AAA again.
How can you defend an organization that operates the largest kill shelter in the United States? And how can you defend an organization that's owner has come out and said that when the greyhounds were tired and racing ends, that it's better to euthanize the ones that can't find homes instead of them racing? Can you defend that? That's coming from PETA's organization, top level. You can Google it. How can you defend that?
He can't defend anything. That's why he doesn't talk to us. PETA doesn't support no kill shelters. Hope you remember this. All right. PETA has killed over 40,000 dogs and cats. That's right. They own a shelter in Norfolk, Virginia, and they have euthanized over 40,000 dogs and cats. How many animals has SeaWorld rescued and saved? Roughly about the same number, 40,000. And they come out here and protest SeaWorld? Doesn't make any sense, guys. Wake up. This animal rights scam is a $1 billion a year business. That's what it is, man. It's a business. Don't fall for it. If you ever wanted to help an animal, donate to your local pet shelter. Okay, between the ASPCA, PETA, and the Humane Society of the United States, they bring in roughly $400 million a year, all right? Less than 1% of that money is donated to any animal shelters. The rest of it goes to paying politicians to write laws against pet ownership. The biggest chunk of the money that they spend is on fundraisers, okay? Almost none of that money helps any animals. Could you imagine if we could do away with these scams and the money could be refunneled into all these animal shelters around the country? Imagine all the lives that would be saved doing that. Propaganda pictures. The most important thing they can do when they come out here. It helps them to drum up money in form of donations here. You know, they got their hand out asking for donations from the public. This is how these people make a living. Do you have any idea how long an orca lives in captivity compared to in the wild? Did you know it's exactly the same? Do you know farming is under attack by these animal rights groups? Pushing their propaganda, closing down dairy farms and all kinds of stuff, man. There's a war going on. You guys need to wake up. These people are tampering with our food supply. All right? They want everybody to be vegan. That's part of the animal rights thing. They want us all to be vegan. Because you can't eat an animal, that's murder. Are you vegan? You say you're vegan, but that's not true. Tell me why you come out here and do this, man. Fess up. You got a pretty good scam going, right? Been doing this for years. I wish I would have caught on to this a long time ago, man.
You were awful. You're
Hey, I'm not trying to be your friend.
I didn't say
Care
that.
less.
Try to be a decent person.
I am decent. Are you kidding? I'm the only one out here telling the truth. It don't get much more decent than that. Wow, such a noble cause. You could get 6 people to come out here. What's that tell you? So basically you got Brian and Carla, they run this group. They could only recruit 4 people to come out here. That's pathetic. And the Humane Society actually doesn't help any animals, and they raise all this money and keep it for themselves. The more people that I can educate about this, the more animals I'm saving. Does that make sense? Here's the other thing, that the crazy lefty ideology, okay? The Green New Deal and all that stuff, that's incorporated animal rights propaganda right on into it. All right, Meatless Mondays, come on, man. They're promoting getting rid of cows and all that stuff. Hey, if you work with animals and you're voting with the lefties, that's a self-inflicted wound there. I'm just saying, wake up. AAA, right here in Heathrow, you can come on out and purchase SeaWorld tickets. So come on out, show some support. Support working animals. Hey, I encourage anyone to go out and counter-protest any animal rights group that's out there lying about people. Man, stand up, support animals. Animal welfare is where it's at, not animal rights. You take a stand against these scoundrels. Man, anytime I do one of these counter-protests, I don't see much support for you guys, man. I'm getting honks, I'm getting waves, people are yelling paint the trail out the window at me. People don't support this. Nobody believes you anymore. Your time is running out. You will have to get a real job. Lying about people for money is nasty. When's the next protest, Brian? I don't want to miss it. PETA's killed 40,000 animals. SeaWorld saved 40,000. You think maybe SeaWorld should be protesting you idiots? Lying and slandering good, hard-working people just so that you can make a few bucks? Sick. Disgusting, man. You should do your homework, man. You shouldn't be holding that sign. You understand PETA's killed 40,000 dogs and cats? Doesn't bother you at all? The founder of PETA is on record saying that we should get rid of the whole pet notion. Nobody should own pets. Do you own a dog or a cat? This guy's lying to you, man. This guy's a scam artist. He don't care about animals. He only cares about himself. You're on the payroll of how many animal rights groups, Brian? Come on, be honest. You don't have an honest bone in your body, do you? This one keeps standing in front of my signs trying to block them. Yeah, it's free. I'll just move it back here a little bit. I like keeping my sign over your head since you're the ringleader. It's all about the propaganda pictures. That's how you drum up donation dollars. I don't work at a zoo. I don't work at SeaWorld. I don't race dogs. I'm an artist, bro. I will sit down and debate you anytime. I wonder how many animals SeaWorld has rescued and saved just this month. And then compare that to how many dogs and cats PETA has euthanized this month. I bet it's shocking. If you're a dog or a cat and you go into that PETA shelter in Virginia, you have a 5% chance of getting adopted because they euthanize 95% of the dogs and cats that they take in. Packing it up. I'll see you at the next scam. Greyhound racing. That's how I got involved in this whole animal rights scam thing. I used to believe that greyhounds were abused, you know what I mean? I always heard stories and crap like that. That was animal rights propaganda. I came and looked for myself, and what did I find? I found the most well cared for, loved dogs ever. People that race these dogs love these dogs. Greyhound racing has a 98% adoption rate. Anybody else have an adoption rate that high? How you doing? Hi. She still wants to run. Do a lap around the track, get to jump in the pool. Can't beat it. I went down the greyhound racing rabbit hole, and for a year I traveled around the state of Florida visiting all these dog tracks and hanging out with the greyhounds in these racing kennels, and discovered that these dogs, man, the best days in a greyhound's life are spent in those racing kennels, man. They love it. They get the best care. They eat better than most people. They take vitamins every day. I learned all about the deceptive practices of these animal rights groups while looking into greyhound racing. These groups that attack greyhound racing, they use the same tactics to go after horse racing, the zoos, SeaWorld. A really crappy way to make a living, you know, slandering and demonizing good, hard-working, animal-loving people. And it's irritated me so much that, hey man, I get off my butt and I go counter-protest these people, and I try to make videos enlightening the public because I think it's important. It's just a big scam going on. You know, people shouldn't donate to PETA, or the Humane Society of the United States. You know, it's almost like we live in a time where you can say anything you want about somebody, man. Doesn't matter how horrendous it is. It doesn't matter if it's a lie or if it's, none of that matters. It just seems like anytime you see someone that's claiming to help animals or people, you got to be on guard, because most of that stuff out there is a scam. People are out there making money off of lying to people. You know, how do you stop that from happening? I don't understand. Before you donate to a group, man, look into them a little bit, and you know, you might be wasting your money if you're not. People should just be cautious, that's all. Stop believing everything you read or everything you hear. There's two sides to every story, and usually when you look into it, someone's lying to you. I tell you right now, greyhounds aren't abused. Not in this country.